Okay, so uh, okay, so you can still see the screen.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, great. Um, so I've had a look at this. I've also had a look at your demo reel.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the demo reel first. And how do you feel about it? Do you feel you're feeling good about it?
I feel the speed might be a bit yeah, maybe a bit too fast, and also I feel like the wood cabin part it's too long, like it's almost half the demo reel. So I'm thinking about maybe only doing the breakdown only for the two first moods, and maybe the two last one I don't do the breakdown because it kind of gets repetitive a bit. And maybe that way I might be able to have a lower frame rate. Like
Mm.
as I said, I'm at 4 frames a second, and it's a bit fast. Maybe I could switch to 3 frames a second.
Mm. Yep,
Uh,
yep. Yeah, I think that like overall it's looking great, but uh, I do agree with you about the cabin. This scene here being quite long. I mean, have you considered maybe instead of doing a breakdown of each one like that separately, have you tried doing all four as a like a split screen
I
thing?
tried,
Or
and some people said that it was
too
a
busy?
bit confusing
Too
to have
busy.
the
Yep.
four at the same time. It's a bit busy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that was my initial thought was that well maybe you could try four, but then when you think about it, there's a lot happening.
Yeah, even only one, it's a bit fast, so it's a lot of thing happening. But yeah, four at the same time, it's a bit. It's fun and cool too, but as a tool for hiring people, I don't think it's necessarily a good idea.
Hmm.
Like maybe for social media or something, it could be fun, but I don't think for demo reel it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah. I think that I actually think that maybe one might be enough.
Even on just one, yeah.
Yeah, even one might be enough. Like pick your best one, the one you think is
M-
is kind of impactful, and then just use that one. Because
I think maybe the second one, this one, because I think the volume works pretty nicely
yep,
compared, for example, to the third one. And the first one is a bit, I'm going to say basic, like there's not much comp and the lighting can work with it on its own
yeah,
almost.
I
So
I,
it's a bit basic. I think the most interesting might be the second one
I agree with you.
and
Yeah,
maybe the most polished.
I agree. I think just use the second one.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
And then at the end there you can show the four iterations, just so people get an understanding that you have tried different sort of
That was, yeah.
weather and lighting scenarios. But yeah, I think just the one would do. And I really like this first one, and I'm glad that you're putting it first.
Yeah, I really like this one too. I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it really does. I it's funny because I actually worked on Sin City. It was my
Oh,
first.
really?
It was the first show I worked on,
Oh, no
and
way.
I was at a company called the Orphanage in San Francisco, and I think there were maybe three separate vendors. There was some vendors in Canada, I think, who worked on it, as well as the orphanage. But yeah, it was my first show, so it was when I saw this, I got a little bit nostalgic. So yeah, it's a nice breakdown, and I see that there's quite a lot of lighting to it. So
Yeah, especially the environment, lots of lights between the neon signs, the buildings.
yep. So yeah, that's a good first one. Yeah, the second one, just do one. Uh, I really
So
like.
this one should be replaced by. I was thinking about replacing
Yep.
with the Little Gamers because
Yep.
this one is the oldest one.
Yep.
For my demo, it's a couple years old now,
Okay. I
but
actually, I
I
actually
still like
really
it.
like it. Yeah. There's a lot of times when people do demo reels, they pick a scene that's got quite a bit of, either very warm kind of lighting or cool lighting, and I find it refreshing to see a scene where it's actually a little bit neutral, like the lighting is quite neutral, so you don't, so you actually focus more on how the lighting is affecting the
Mm.
character because you're not distracted by the warm hues or the cool kind of hues. So I really like this one. So I mean, up to you if you want to replace it. And this last one, this was used. So you used Unreal for this one.
Yeah, it was for the Kid Bash 3D
Mm.
organized challenge
Mm-hmm.
with a new app for Kid Bash kids.
Yep.
And so I use their newest kit and try to do the challenge. And I took this opportunity to learn Unreal. So yeah, it was a bit
It's
of a challenge in
yeah, yeah.
itself, learning Unreal.
It's good. It's a good solid shot to end. And I'm thinking maybe if you the time that you save with
Yeah, only keeping one for this one, yeah.
editing this, maybe you could leave this intact and add the
And
gamer
have the little gamers, yeah.
add the gamers as well, and I think it would still get you you know the same or even at about a minute. So
Yeah.
um
I'm done to keep the Adam project. You just, yeah, as I said, there is the studio Illumination in Paris that they haven't posted yet like real job offerings,
mm,
but they did a post. As I said, basically we're going to need people in 2025. We don't
mm,
know yet when, how much, what level, etc. But send your demo reels and we'll see. We'll
cool.
keep in touch.
Yeah. Well,
And and they put some tips, as I said, like don't keep projects that are too old and not representative of your level.
mm,
Don't have breakdowns with too many steps.
yep.
So, and my previous the demo reels and breakdowns were too many steps. So
Mm.
I took the time to reopen my new files and re-export images to be a bit more efficient. I also made sure to really have the lighting phase than the composing phase,
Yes,
so it's a bit
that's
more clear what's happening. And if for example I want to send my demo reel for compositing job or lighting job, I can still have one demo reel for both,
yep.
and it's clear for the recruiter. Okay, this is the lighting phase, this is the compositing phase.
Yeah, that's really useful. I think maybe position the text that says lighting and compositing, especially here. Maybe bring it down a little bit so that it's more in frame. So you see here
Okay,
it
yeah.
says lighting. I would bring it down a little bit and maybe further towards the center, just so
Okay.
it's more prominent.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a second one.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Cool. No, it's overall it's looking really good.
Thank you.
All right. So so this is your latest project,
Hmm.
and I see that you have this as a reference, and also I didn't take a screen grab of it, but also Inside Out 2
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, for the Inside Out one was more like a bit of the kind of the global idea. They are on the couch. They have the sun from one side, a bit of a cooler side on the other one. But I liked the image that you showed is from a Korean movie called Ballerina, and I liked
Mm.
the soft aspect to it, like the maybe not this one. I posted another image which was more visible, but
Yep.
it was like really soft, lot of diffusion, lots
Yep.
of glow.
Mm.
So I wanted to do a bit of mix between the two ideas.
Yep. So have you added? So have you taken this into Nuke and added some?
Yeah, yeah, it's in Nuke.
Yep.
There's a bit of color work, but it's not final yet.
Okay.
I know this image is quite warm, especially the yellow is pretty prominent.
Mm.
I don't know yet if I want to see this exact color scheme.
Mm. Yeah. So let's. So
But yeah,
the.
I've added diffusion already, a bit
Mm.
of glow. The defocus as well is done in Nuke.
Mm-hmm.
The specs on the eyes are also done in Nuke.
Yep. No, that's looking good. Did you tweak the skin shaders at all? The subsurface, was that a default setting on the skin, or
Uh,
did you
I
adjust?
did a little bit of tweaking because the original scene was done with Arnold,
Yes.
but my computer isn't fast enough for Arnold. I will have to wait quite a bit longer.
Mm.
So I redid all the shader in Redshift. But overall now Redshift and Arnold have pretty similar shaders, so I was able to translate really easily.
Mm.
The only thing I did is because with the default modern textures, the lips of the characters were kind of white.
Right.
So I tried to add a bit of warmth to it, even it's still not quite there yet. But
Mm.
also around the eyes, you can still see on this image, it's a bit white. I don't know if it's a SSS mask texture or I'll see
Right.
if I can tweak it a little more. But
Mm.
overall, the SSS was the same parameter as the original scene.
Okay.
Uh,
Cool.
I don't know if I felt it was working pretty well. Like it was noticeable, but not too much.
Mm. Yep. Yep. No, it's actually feeling really nice to me. Um, yeah, it's always the issue of the eyes, the eye whites. Um, that is kind of an ongoing issue in lighting, especially when you have characters that have a very prominent brow and the light blocks it from illuminating their eyes, and a lot of the times they look too dark as well. That's
I boosted it in Nuke already. Maybe a bit too much, like the part of the eyes that are hit by the light are maybe a bit too white, but the eyes and the teeth have been boosted already.
Okay. Yep. You could
So I
maybe.
don't know if I should maybe boost it more, turn it down.
Yeah, I think maybe tone it down a little bit. It
Okay,
does. It is starting to feel like it's
a bit too much.
a bit too much. Yeah. And in
I
terms
know
of
it
you go.
on the previous show I worked on.
Mm.
It was something that we were always getting notes on, like the teeth. For example, if they were colored light, they didn't like when the teeth were getting blue or purple. So they wanted to have the teeth to be white and not too dark. The eyes, the same thing. So by default, I boosted it a bit, but yeah, a bit too much.
Mm. Yeah, it'll be it'll be an ongoing issue when you work on shows. It always happens. So yeah. But overall, it's got a really nice feel to it. The shaping on the faces from the sun is working really well, and there's a nice bounce fill on the fill side, on the shadow side, and that's
Mhm.
again that's working really well. Um, yeah, I mean I don't really have that much comment other than maybe the eye whites.
Okay.
And do you do you have any intention to add any sort of color to the onto the fill side, or do you want to keep it quite warm?
I don't know yet
Mm.
because on the insider preference, there is a bit of blue.
Mm.
There is a bit of blue, but it's really subtle, like a bit
Yeah.
of on the hair of Riley.
Yep.
There's a bit of blue speck on the hair,
Yep.
a bit on the skin as well, but it's really overall it's kind of neutral the field side with just a bit of hints in the specular of blue. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the field size a bit too dark. Like, should I bring it up a little, or should I
Uh,
keep it that way a bit contrasty? I kind of like the contrasty look.
yeah, I don't mind it, and given that it does feel like you know there aren't other sources of light in the room apart from the sun. I think
Yeah,
it justifies it being a little bit darker, and I kind of like that key to fill ratio. Like it's a quite a classic key to fill ratio, so it looks it's very pleasing. So I would keep it.
okay.
Mm. Cool. All right. Well, thanks for that. Looking
Thank
forward
you for
to
the feedback.
yeah, no worries. Looking forward to the next the next iteration, and with this piece cut in with your with your reel. Please post that when you have that up.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All
Thank you.
right. You're welcome, Sylvain. Sylvain. All right. So next we have, I believe we have, let's see, we have Erika. Erika, I'm not sure whether you're here, but so I got your update, and I see that you've added some colored lights to the scene. There's a lot of different colored lights in the scene, and disco scenes are always kind of they're difficult to I guess hone in on certain characters if you wanted to maybe privilege a certain character in the foreground. So I can understand why you've used a spotlight to highlight the foreground characters, and the adding of the colored lights is quite subtle. And at first I thought maybe you could crank it up a little bit more, but now I think that there is enough going on in the lighting that that little hint of colored light is probably enough. So I'm going to rescind that comment, and I think you're good. I would still maybe back off on the amount of light that is kind of hitting the floor there, because your eye starts to I feel like the eye is starting to get drawn onto the floor rather than these characters here. Like, you obviously want to privilege these guys, and I feel that the floor is starting to compete for that attention. So I would definitely try and back off on the intensity of the light on the floor there. Okay, that would be my only comment. Otherwise, it's looking great. And next we have Miguel's dragon, and I saw your video. It's looking It's looking great. Was that the one? Maybe it's this the one. Swooping dragon. Thank you. I know Jasmine's comment was to back off on the bounce there. I see you've done that. It does feel at points, it does feel a little bit muddy here though. Like on the fill side, it feels, even on the key side there, it feels like there's some kind of blocker or something in place that's reducing the highlights to a point where I feel like it's just mid-tones. And you're losing that really nice key that you're getting there. By the time he gets down here, and technically he's still in the sun, but for some reason he feels really kind of dark and muddy here. So I'm wondering whether you could take a look at your setup and try and get that nice key to fill ratio there. And technically it should still be the same once he's down here. I know that you're getting more bounce off the sand there, but I feel like the key needs to be hotter. Maybe that's it. Maybe the key just needs to be hotter at this point. And that's nice as he crosses into the key light there. You can really feel that. I'd maybe kind of amp that up a bit more. And then the dramatic final part of the shot there does. I don't know if it's my monitor, but the purple dragon feels quite a bit brighter than the blue one on the key side. So maybe you could bring up the key on the mother or the blue dragon to match the. I feel like you're reading the highlights a lot better on the purple one, and on the blue one it just isn't coming up as much. So I would try and match the highlights at this point here, both of them, just so they feel like they're, I don't know if you're lighting them together or not, but it may be a case of tweaking the shaders on the blue one if they are, so that the highlights are being expressed more when hit by the key. Yeah, amp this up, amp the key light up here, and yeah, take a look at what the key's doing, because I feel like, is there some sort of volume? There's some sort of volume that is passing through, but it does feel kind of milky and muddy there. Alrighty, the first part looks great, beautiful. Yeah, just this part. The key seems to somehow be disconnected with the rest of the scene. The key on the dragon. So take a look. Alrighty. Thank you. Let's see. We'll get Miguel. Your wacky lab scene. It's this is a epic scene, and I commend your efforts, because you've got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 setups there in the one take with no cuts, and that is very difficult to do in lighting. And I guess my main comment is to I guess make them all distinctive yet cohesive as well as an overall scene. And I took a look at your reference. Great reference there. And I guess my overall takeaway is that compared to the reference images, your scene definitely feels a little bit too overlit, and I understand that there's an overall spotlight that you're using to illuminate the entire scene, and just to make sure that everything has some illumination. But I think that you could definitely bring that down, and I understand why you're using it, but if you can this one here, maybe just on the floor and on the panels here, just on the environment, it feels like, compared to the reference, you could definitely bring the environment down there, just overall. You could leave the figures It's a very tough shot. So my first instinct is to recommend that you take the overall environment ambient lighting down. I think there's enough light in there so that we understand that, you know, it's a lot going on. There's a lot of elements in the lab. And I think take it down so that we can start to read the characters. Our eye starts to focus more on the characters now. Same here. Yep. My main gripe is the floor. I would back off on the floor and the walls here. You got some really nice. That's really nice there. You've got nice shaping on the shoulders and the face there. That's working really well. And these guys, I would try maybe bringing the light, the spotlight, whatever light you've got on there, maybe swinging it back so that it's not as front lit and you are not lighting the camera side of it as much. Maybe you swing it back. Oops. Where are we? yes, swing the light. It's probably, I feel like it's like that. I would swing it back so that it's a little bit in front of, pointing towards camera. So it's almost like top, sort of a top light. Just so you have some fall off there. Something like that. Let's see whether I think I've downloaded it. This is, oh, sorry, that's Sylvain's. I may not have downloaded it, unfortunately, but that would be my main comments, is to back off on the environment lighting. You've got some really nice shape there on the pipes here. You know, that's great. These little accent lights, these are great. They really etch out the detail nicely. But you could definitely back off on that main light. Alrighty, but I'm really commending your efforts. It's this is in the biz we call them the oneers. Very difficult shots, but it's definitely getting there. All right, Marie. So I can see that you've iterated on your original version, which is this one, and you've swung the light behind the subject like so, and it's looking really nice. I do feel like, if I might make a suggestion, that it is still reading quite flat, and I know it's the flaring from the sun and perhaps the lens contamination from the fact that, you know, the sun is quite bright in this scene. I would make a suggestion that you try and maybe back off on that lens contamination a little bit, like so. And I really like this reference where you do get, I guess you get this kind of tonal gradation from the highlight to mids to shadow. And I know that the the whole image has been lifted in post, but reading this gradation is quite nice. You understand the features of the face quite well with this. So I'm wondering whether you could have a go at some kind of tonal gradation from shadow maybe this is way too much though. Maybe try and get some kind of tonal gradation across her face. just kind of bring back some of that shadow. Just so that you have, and I've made a mess here. Sorry. Just so you have a, some kind of fall off from highlight to shadow. Get that to express. Similar to here. And again, this is an eternal struggle, but I would like you to attempt to get the eye whites down to a point where it doesn't, I guess it's not popping as much, and it's something that I struggle with as well, day to day, but I think it'd be good to have a go at that. And then, yeah, thanks for that. And then, Sylvain, have we talked about this? I think we may have.
At the beginning, yeah.
I think we may have, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much everyone.
And I was going to see if I could get you to take a quick peek at my website, just to kind of get your idea on it.
Oh, sure.
If you have time.
Yeah, sure. Have you posted there? Oh, is that
Here,
you?
I'll
Is that
put
you,
it
Pete?
Yeah, I'll put it in chat.
No worries. Good to see you again, Pete.
Yeah, same here.
All right, yeah, just put it in the chat.
It should be there.
All right, let me see. Where am I? Where's the chat? Let me share. Okay. Show chat. Got it. All right. Can you see it on the screen now?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. Welcome to the portfolio of Peter Robie.
I just noticed something at the bottom right. You have a typo on animation. You have like responsible for all animations.
Oops. Good catch. Let's see. Can make that change.
All right. Okay. So
Okay, that's updated.
let's,
Thanks.
let's check out your shots.
Problem.
This is very similar to Miguel's shot. The setup. Right?
Yeah, it was for the monthly challenge.
Mm. Yeah, I like how the environment's kind of recessed and receding versus the characters. The characters are definitely popping, and they're moving through. Those colored lights is really nicely expressed.
Thanks.
Yeah, this guy's lit up really nicely. Just a top light. Yep. Yeah, this is, Miguel, if you're watching, this is kind of pretty much what I was envisioning with your scene is to just back off on the environment lights and focus on the character lights. Yeah, this is a good interpretation of the scene. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
cool.
You remember that one?
Yep. Very nice. Cool. I did some comp.
Yeah.
Was it that kind of graphic?
Yeah, basically the people and the items in the foreground are all green screened out. Background is completely 2D.
Yep.
So there was some compositing with basically keying out green screen and adding in the background and some 3D elements as far as on the sign and stuff.
Yep.
To kind of blend everything in.
No, it looks good.
Just a quick question on this one, Pete. You say texturing, but are you saying that you did the texture, or it was you did the shaders with the texture provided with the assets?
Actually, I did a lot of work on the textures themselves.
Okay, so you reworked the textures. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because a lot of it was like either replacing the textures or creating new subsurface masks and things like that.
Cool.
Okay.
Looks great.
And that's my animation reel.
Cool. Very nice.
Thanks.
All right, yeah. I definitely think your strongest piece is the lab scene. I think that's my favorite. And this is like a kind of generalist kind of portfolio. Is that right? Because you've got some
Yeah,
animation, you've got some compositing, and obviously lighting. Yeah.
I wanted to primarily focus on lighting, but to show that I can also do other stuff.
Yep. Cool.
And I'm actually going to replace, that's just a temp cover image. So I'm going to end up replacing that. Right now I'm working on a recreation from the Sucker Punch movie.
Mm-hmm.
Basically when they go down into the trenches
Oh, yeah.
and they start fighting down there.
Yep.
I'm taking that shot and redoing it inside of Unreal.
Great.
And I've already recreated a likeness of Rocket, who was the kind of the strawberry blonde that had the really heavy makeup around her eyes.
Oh, yep.
I went ahead and did a likeness of her with metahumans.
Yep.
And I was gonna clothe her and then add the Asian girl, I think it's Bunny,
Mm-hmm.
to the shot as well. And pretty much just have them go through from a back shot to looking at them walking down into the trenches, and later on get to the point of an actual fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna have to find like some characters that have the control rigs and everything to them, so I can animate that.
Yep. Oh, well, look forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a bit.
Yeah. That's all right. All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. It was great to see everyone's work. It's looking pretty amazing. So, yeah,
I appreciate it. And
no worries. I'll be on again same time next week. So if you have any updates or new stuff you want to show me, just post it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you
Have a
later.
good day.
nice work,
Bye.
guys.
Bye now.